be everywhere. You normally want to see multiple disablers, multiple blink disablers up against a Tinker. That way you're not always relying on that one hero, because if that one hero is somewhere within ward vision, Tinker knows just to go to the other side of the map, farm that up, farm up the jungle maybe too. He's got so many different options here. So Cloud9 are really going to have to take it to Liquid hard, and I think that's mainly going to be all about the laning phase. If they can win the laning phase here and turn this into an early advantage, maybe shut down the Tinker a couple times, then they should just have a real easy roll into snowballing and taking towers and just pretty much being unstoppable.
Yeah, and that might occur, but I don't know, I'm not sure. It'll depend a lot what happens in this early game. If Tinker actually gets very early boot to travel, now that's a huge deciding factor. Once a Tinker gets a boot to travel, it's a huge boost of income for him and experience, and then leading into faster late game items. And that might be the reason why Liquid might come out on top in this game. But what can also happen is Liquid loses one team fight. Roshan, boom, gone. And then into this sort of Necrobook disaster that I think C9 will still be doing, despite not having the most optimal heroes for Necrobooks.
Yeah, you're right. I forgot about Necrobooks, mainly because I was like looking at it was like a Puck and a Timbersaw. You're right; those aren't really optimal Necrobook heroes. But if those do come out, that spells a lot of trouble for Tinker, because then you like spam out March of the Machines, and all of a sudden you're taking all this extra damage. The possibility of maybe an early Blade Mail being picked up by Timbersaw. It's not the most typical item on him, but it's I think a viable item choice for him. Just returning more damage to the Tinker.
It's definitely been done before, and in order to avoid deaths by killing yourself with March of the Machine, there's only thing you can do is really just buy a scepter and just use yourself whenever they do that sort of deal. I mean, there's no way to avoid the damage chain coming from you unless you get a BKB, but I wouldn't think you would get a BKB, especially with how little disables Cloud9 has in their lineup.
Right. I also really like the Blade Mail. Any sort of Blade Mails up against the Centaur, because that's just kind of hilarious. When he goes to try and double edge you, and you just like turn on the Blade Mail and he returns all that damage right back into himself. He's just like a huge chunk of damage being taken out by Centaur. But either way, we saw Liquid starting out, 5-manning to top, but it looks like they thought twice about it. Wade 2, the only hero up there, tried to get in some sort of ward vision, but Cloud9 were already there, protecting their own jungle, had this early rune ward up, and they're ready to rock. They protected their jungle. They're going to be able to get in some early pulls, maybe some early stacks as well, for maybe, like, I don't know. They don't really have any hero to clear through stacks real quickly. But, did Aoi actually get baited into thinking there's a ward here?
No, there's no way. Like,
they did see him, right? Yeah.
Positioning of the Bane was way too far to place a ward actually onto the pole, and he knows that. So he's just gotten sentries just in case, because he saw that Liquid is aggressive tri-laning. And regeneration rune, not too effective, but Liquid's leaving it there, so perhaps one of the mid solos is going to snatch it real quick.
All right, well, as we get into this real quick, let's talk about who's playing what. We got Bone7 on the off lane. Timbersaw, he's going to go one-on-one versus Bulba's Tinker. We got mid, Koifa's going to be on the Naga Siren versus Sing Sing's Puck, and that leaves the tri-lane. TC is going to be on the Tree and Protector, Wade 2 on the Bane, and that leaves Demon, who's going to be playing the Centaur, up against the tri-lane of Pilot Eye on the Dazzle. Eternal Envy's going to be playing that Lycan, just as you called it, and Aoi is coming in with the Visage as well. A little bit of back and forth here, just small auto attacks, but nothing too major. So far, this tri-lane, this aggro tri, will keep control of the lane, and it's going to be up to Cloud9. They really need to get a pull off, but unfortunately, it doesn't look like. I've never seen this ward spot before, but it's pretty clever. The normal ward spots that you usually see, not going to be countered up. Oh, hold on, Sleep. Maybe they can get a stun, and with Leech Seed, they might just be able to kill Pilot Die here. Stun is going to go down, and there it is. First Blood going the way of TC.
Yeah, this is a very deadly combo, like I stated earlier. A sleep into just sort of a centaur stun or a leech seed is impossible to escape, and you're gonna be taking like 500-600 damage of burst, and if you're not careful, you're dead. Just like that, first blood.
Yeah, this is honestly kind of ridiculous. How do you fight up against this? It's a centaur and a Treant Protector. Like 2 of the tankier heroes at level 1 or 2, so it's not like you can even fight up against that. There's no way you're making any sort of good trade, that's for sure. They're too tanky. Leech Seed also heals them up. And then the other hero, being Bane, once he has some Brain Sap up, he's kind of unkillable too, because then he has an extra, 100, 150 health. So that's going to be an issue. Maybe the solos are going to go a little bit better, though, for Cloud9. Bone 7 up against a Tinker, that's not going to be fantastic. But it shouldn't be too terrible either. Might be able to pick up some farm. And SneyKing mid versus the Naga Siren. That should be all right for him at least.
And Aoi's having so much trouble trying to find his ward. I mean, this is such an excellent ward placed by Way Too Sexy, and he's having so much issue.
Now they finally found it, but they're going to get caught out 3-manning into the ward right now, but Centaur's too far away for them to actually stop and force any sort of team fight. If Cloud9 overextend themselves, the Demon's going to be on the way, and he already is level 2, soon to be a level 3. That double edge just means you're going to burst down heroes real quickly. I like what Bone 7 is doing here, though. He's pulling like a Darkseer move here, and is just went behind the tower, pulled the creep wave, because he doesn't want to be fighting Bulba one-on-one. He says, Bulba, you go ahead, you tank the creeps underneath your tower, I'll do the same. I've got reactive armor to protect me.
Yeah, and regen efficiency is of course going to be always in favor of the Timbersaw, and surprisingly he doesn't have any levels in Whirling Death, so he's just going straight up Timber Chain. Perhaps this will work out well against a Tinker, and we'll just have to see how this works out, because the soul lanes are very important, as the Cloud9 are not able to accomplish too much in their tri lane, so they need this to work out for them.
Yeah, I mean, they picked up 2 CS in their tri lane, 1 on Lycan and 1 on the Dazzle. Right now, Pilot Eye, he's actually just full-time jungling right now because they're so scared. They know they can't do anything about this. So the aggressive tri-lane, you called it, man, it was going to be deadly, and it's really shutting down Cloud9. Chasing on TC a little bit, but there goes that sleep. He can wake himself up with the Wolves. In fact, it's going to be Dazzle who wakes him up. Leech Seed slowing him down, and the stun is going to go down. Only finds Pilot Eye, but he just gets bursted down by the double edge. Slow down on TC, but again, they can't make a trade. He's just too tanky. Maybe Eternal Envy will fall as well. They're looking to be able to make this block. Oh, where's the double edge? He doesn't get it. Demon charges it twice and unable to finish him off. They're just going to cop a little bit of extra damage, but either way, they claim a kill and go right back to it.
Yeah, that was sort of a greedy play by Demon. He wanted the extra auto attack up before double edging, and that caused him to miss the double edge window, and which led to a missed kill. So slight misplays by him, but they're still winning the trialing pretty convincingly. There's nothing Cloud9 can do. The only thing he can do right now is just to get more experience. And once they get some experience, this combo won't work as well, because Dazzle is just so good in defensive trialing position, and so is Visage. So once they get those levels, they can easily turn around and kill Liquid.
Yeah, right now, SneyKing, I'm taking a look at his CS. He's 20-5 versus a 23-1. Now, that's not too terribly surprising because Naga Siren, being a melee hero, has a slight attack damage lead early on the puck, and then on top of that has that Riptide spam. But I was kind of expecting SneyKing to be able to harass Koifu a little bit more, but I suppose the bottle crowing, making that kind of impossible. So right now, they're even winning middle as well as bottom. Bulba, he's 20-6 compared to the 19-7 on Bone 7. Liquid are doing great in their laning phase, and I kind of thought that was going to be where Cloud9 might just be able to make their stand, is in the laning phase, being able to turn that into an early advantage going into the mid game, because I'm not quite sure that Cloud9, I feel they have a very limited time. Once the Tinker's up with Boots of Travel and Blink, it feels like it's going to be kind of just a snowball from there for Liquid.
Yeah, I mean, right now it looks like there's a tower dive.
Yeah. Oh, wait, sorry, buddy, you're going down. Stun, double edge. Oh, Jesus. He just gets bursted down. He can't even get off a Grave Chill or anything off of that, all that damage. What do you think about Pilot Eye's build here? Do you think maybe an early level of Shallow Grave would make a little bit better sense since you're dealing with all this aggression, or do you prefer the Poison Touch?
I personally think a Poison Touch is fine, because Shallow Grave has such a low range at level 1, and it costs us too much mana for it to be efficient. And if you're using Shallow Grave, most likely your target's going to die, because there's so much slow from the Leech Seed, and they already have boots on their enemy supports and hard carry. So it wouldn't be too efficient to level up Shallow Grave.
Well, we do have a rotation. Bottom, Aui's actually going to be seeing if maybe he can pick off the Tinker here, but the lane is already constantly being pushed out, and Bulba's getting that extra bit of farm by also now stacking the jungle. So smart play from Bulba, pushing out the lane with Martian Machines, get some of that, and now he wanted to be able to get some rune control, but that's being blocked up by Aui. Rune is going to be found at top. A hasted Bane. And this could mean the death of somebody, whether it's going to be middle or maybe he goes all the way to bottom. We'll have to keep our eyes on where Way 2 travels along. Wolves right now, though, are scouting Liquid's positioning in the jungle, and maybe they can finally get a little bit more CS on this Lycan.
I mean, that's definitely something Cloud9's looking to do, but it is pretty grim level-wise. I mean, all of their levels added together is like level 8, and the solo lanes are level 7. I mean, just to show you how underleveled Cloud9's tri lane really is. But they really need to just keep doing what they're doing. Just limit the deaths to minimal and just get as much experience as you can. Because there's no other really solution for them. Because they sort of picked this greedy mid-early game that would not be able to deal with this tri lane like this.
Yeah, tri lane doing beautifully. It might just find another Pilot Eye. Comp's a stun, but without the extra support of a Bane. Not going to be able to finish him off, though. Way 2. He has just found Aui, and if he gets a good sleep, the March of the Machine setup, it's possible that they could kill that support. So it's got to be a little bit careful. Pilot Eye routinely forced out of this lane. Centaur is going to be able to have a really, really fast Blink Dagger. Look at that. He already has 1,700 gold on him due to the fact he just went for regular old Tranquil Boots. So he's going to be able to pick up a Blink Dagger, move around the map, maybe even shut down Sing Sing. That would be the best possible thing. Sing Sing, for me, is going to be the playmaker going into the mid-game. If he can grab a Blink Dagger of his own, you have the possibility that his setups will be able to win you team fights. He's going to be the one shutting down the Tinker. He's going to be the one setting up these team fights. So if they can maybe get just one gank on him early, that would be perfect. That's the only thing that I could see Liquid doing better right now in the laning phase.
Yeah, I mean, Koifa is doing really well for himself right now. Sitting at 50 CS at 8 minutes in comparison to the Puck's 44. Puck's doing pretty well, but Naga's a hard carry, and with this early farm, seems like he's rushing the Radiance completely. He has 2,000 gold saved up, but he's not trying to buy any items, so yeah, we probably will see a 14-minute Radiance or so.
Cloud9 see that too. They see that. They want to be able to gank this Naga, and Sing Sing's ready for it, man. He's got the